So you've written songs with Justin Bieber.
Yeah. One day I was in a hotel lobby. I'd done a meeting. There was little Justin Bieber from YouTube. And I said to him, aren't you that kid from YouTube? You know, I did Feel This Moment by Pitbull.
That's a big record. I mean, I can't even list all the big records you've had. You wrote with John Legend as well. You wrote with her, Usher, Halsey, Iggy Azalea.
I never worked with Iggy.
That's in your Wikipedia. Change Your Life, written by you.
Oh my God, I did do an Iggy song. I remember getting in a fight with this girl the day before. We were arguing and she was just being incredibly rude. And I was like, why you gotta be so rude?
Welcome to my podcast. Today we have Nasri, and I couldn't be more excited. One of the really incredible songwriters and a friend, and one of the writers of one of my all-time favorite songs, Rude.
Thank you.
Yeah, and it was a #1 hit, right? In the UK and in America.
Yeah, a bunch of countries.
But one of those rebellious songs, standing up to the man.
That's right.
Yeah.
I never thought about it.
It's
like
always
that.
those songs resonate. When you stand up to the man, when you shove it to the,
That's
to
right.
the dude.
To the dad.
When you're rebellious, when you're revolutionary.
Yeah, I wrote it when I was 32 and I was standing up to a dad. It's very interesting.
What's the story behind this song?
There wasn't I think it wasn't really much of a story, it was like, I've always been pretty prolific and consistent, and so during that time when we had started the band, I was writing like 3 or 4 songs a day, just boom, bop, bop, bop. And there's this, I remember getting in a fight with this girl the day before. We were arguing and she was just being incredibly rude. And I was just like, and I remember I was just joking with my guitar player, Mark, and we were like writing over this like dark track, and I was like, why you gotta be so rude, and, just venting. And then he was like, oh, that's something.
Yeah.
And then, we left it alone. And he was like, that's a good song. And I was like, I don't know if I like that song. And he was like, no, you gotta write that song. Uh-huh. And then
so that was just the hook at first.
Yeah,
you gotta be so
but it was like a trap beat
without even a story to it, and then you built the story around it.
Basically, yeah. One day we were just in a room, and then Mark said to Adam Messenger, who produced the song with us, he goes, Nasri won't work on this hook. This hook's a hit, And Adam's like, why don't you just try a different progression? That usually works with him. You got to change it up, right? Yeah. And so he just, did that kind of friendly reggae thing. And then all of a sudden I started saying, and I just became this like reggae crooner, out of just like, and I almost in one take, I'd just written the story, which is like.
So what's the inspiration for the story?
Nothing.
No, not a girl, not a real situation where the dad was a dick and. No?
I never asked permission.
Aw.
I just took her.
It feels so real, this song. It feels like this is written out of your life. And I'm like, I want to be this guy who stands up to the man.
This is, I think, what I've realized about myself as a creative is I'm kind of like a method actor. I've written in so many styles now. But I think why it's worked for me is because when I'm actually in. Mm-hmm. So if I come up with an idea and all of a sudden I'm like, okay, I'm going to write a song called My Best Friend's Toby. I will make people believe that my best friend's Toby, and I will believe that my best friend. So
you're
Toby.
An actor, and you grew up wanting to do Broadway, right? And as a dancer.
I did. I was dancing, and I wanted to be just a pop star, and I think like I had a long dance background, so I danced for years when I was younger.
What kind of dance?
I was a ballroom dancer in high school years, and then moved to New York and was dancing like hip hop and capoeira, African dance, like stuff like that, jazz classes.
That's so cool.
And it kept me in shape.
Capoeira, you're like, it's almost like a fight, but you're not touching each other.
They're breakdance fighting. Yeah, it's like Brazilian
so
break
cool.
dancing and breakdance fighting. And it's really beautiful. And so like that kind of world was what I wanted to do. And sure, I always thought about like being in musicals and stuff like that. I think.
Were you ever?
No, I think I didn't have good enough pitch to be in a musical. I always kind of like, because I was like more style based as a singer, But to be in a musical, you almost have to have like perfect pitch.
You also have to repeat the same thing every night perfectly without any variation. And I think you're probably also someone who always wants to improvise and add something new every evening, right? And they would hate that.
For sure, for sure. I'm probably maybe calmer now and I could do it, but I'm probably more suited to write the musical and to create the musical now more than I am to actually like play a character in it. I think there's just better talents. There's people out there who really do have that really perfect pitch. There's no studio tricks to it, right? And so I think though if I did have a script and I did practice that one thing every day, I would be fine. But it's like it's just a different thing. You're right. I'm very like floaty, you know?
So you're touring as well, right?
Yeah.
A lot.
Toured quite a bit this year with the band. We put out an album this year. And went to Hawaii and Portugal and
and I ran into you in London.
In London, that was in between shows. That was in between shows. Crazy. And Hackney.
It's such a cool little stretch.
It was cool. Yeah, I had just left a session.
I was on my Lime bike and suddenly Toby.
Yeah, you can't miss Toby. Can't miss your smiling face. It was so cool, and you know it's all serendipitous. You know, I needed to get away this summer. You know, I lost my father last year, and it was just like I don't know. There was something
unexpected or
no. He had brain cancer, and so like it sucked. That part was unexpected, but then you know we got to say goodbye and everything, but it was like. I needed to just not be home this summer. There was just something. I just needed to see the world and not always working. And so like there was these one-off shows and I just was like, you know what? I don't want to be home this summer. This is the first time because I usually want to be home, you know?
So the shows are not work. And then writing songs is work.
Yeah, that's not work either, to be honest. I just wanted to just like travel alone and that's what I did. I just wandered around and I just like, you know, why not? I'm in London. I let some people know that I was there to write songs, and all of a sudden my schedule was filled in like 4 days. You know, it was like,
and your band, you're all good friends. You hang out.
Oh yeah. We're still brothers. Yeah,
sounds like so much fun.
Yeah, it's fun. We leave in a couple weeks. We go to do Toronto and Mexico. We do like a big festival in Mexico. Super fun. Yeah.
So you've written songs with Justin Bieber.
Yeah.
Very early on when he was just having his first baby.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
I had a really kind of like unique style as an R&B singer. So people don't really know this, but when they meet me, they meet the guy from Magic, right? And the guy from Magic, you know, this kind of like reggae guy that again I had put on.
Yeah, I love that guy.
Yeah. You love that guy, yeah. And I love that guy. And I think
we all love that guy.
Yeah. And I think like I have now become that guy, obviously through not just repetition, but enjoying life through that lens and that character. But I started off as an R&B singer. You know, I was brought into many, many R&B sessions and that's what I did. I grew up loving Boyz II Men and Jodeci and all that stuff, Jagged Edge and all my favorite singers. And then Whitney Houston's literally my favorite singer, you know?
Yeah.
And then Aaliyah, oh my God. I mean, I was in love with her. You know, it was like that's the vibe for me.
Yeah.
And so I was still writing a lot of R&B before I started Magic. And one day I was in a hotel lobby. I'd done a meeting and there was little Justin Bieber from YouTube. And I said to him, aren't you that kid from YouTube?
Yeah.
He's like, yeah. Out pops up Scooter Braun. Young Scooter Braun just started managing the kid.
Amazing.
Who are you? And I had written a song called Crawl by Chris Brown that, you know, people really liked it. He's like, oh, what have you done? I said, oh, I just did that song, Crawl for Chris Brown. He goes, oh, I love that song. I started going crazy. And Justin was kind of doing the baby kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And it was a little bit more nasal. And my style was a little bit smoother. And so I did a couple songs on that first album, just a song called Up. Maybe we can go nowhere but up. And it just had this like kind of like
nice
vibe, which was my vibe.
Yeah.
That was my vibe as a singer.
Yeah.
And then a song called That Should Be Me, which I wrote with now the very, you know, successful actor and singer and everything, Luke James. And I was working on Luke James's stuff and we would also write songs. and then Rascal Flatts jumped on the remix. It was just so random, right?
Yeah.
Justin was everywhere. And then then I just was kind of Justin's writer for a while.
Wow.
Yeah.
What were your biggest songs with Justin?
My biggest song was As Long As You Love Me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That was a good one. That was with Rodney Jerkins. First time I ever worked with him, my first song was As Long As You Love Me.
How do you guys write that?
He had tracks. That's how Rodney's like, he has so many tracks that he makes, right?
Yeah.
And at that time, he kind of gave me the option. I was like, oh no, give me the folder. You know, like I just want to be able to sift through, you know? And I found that start that him and Andre Lindell had made, and I was like, I like that. And I wrote As Long As You Love Me in 15 minutes.
Whoa.
Practically freestyled it. Yeah.
Everybody's jealous now.
Don't be jealous. The only reason why I could do this is because I talk to myself all day. It's not, it's like, like people, it's like that whole Jay-Z thing. People think that Jay-Z goes in and just raps. He's like, no, I've been rapping this since I woke up. Like I'm kind of the same. Like,
Sean Paul too. Like
right.
A few times I work with him, like in 5 minutes, he's got the whole rap.
Yeah, but he's been doing it all day, right? He's been kind of running the lyrics in his head all day. And I think like I'm the same way. I'm like, I'm just kind of like.
So when you sleep, do you still talk to yourself?
No.
Do you wake up in the morning and Nasri's talking to Nasri? And,
no, the children have drained my energy. I just fall asleep now. I definitely still dream songs.
That's great.
I dream songs.
And then do you have a dictaphone next to you? Or
I do have my phone. Mm-hmm. My wife does not like it.
She wakes up?
She's like, you'll come up with something else. Stop waking me up, So that I think it's only like once every 6 months and something, Mm-hmm. But yeah, so
you're a dad.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about your kids too?
Sure. Why not?
Yeah, I'm a dad too.
You're a dad. We're dads.
It's like amazing to pass everything on and to have
if they will receive it. Yeah.
If they do, yeah.
Yeah.
How's the experience?
I got 2 boys.
Mm-hmm.
One is 15, Jaden, and 9, Noah, and great kids. Jaden's more athletic. Mm-hmm. Loves like Travis Scott and all like the trap stuff and the hip hop stuff. Noah is just discovering pop music now. He's 9 years old. Mm-hmm. And he seems to really like the kind of Katy Perry structure songs,
Mm-hmm.
the very like structured pop stuff. So yeah, like today he just like full out saying E.T. for me, and I'm like, all right, we're doing this. And, for me, it's like, I don't really care what he likes. I'm not even trying to influence it yet. He's still kind of young. It's like, even though I like Katy Perry, that song specifically, I was like, out of all of her catalog, I was like, there's some better songs.
Are you a good dad? Are you spending time with them on the weekends? Do you go to their sports games or whatever?
Everything. Yeah. I was coaching their teams. Super, super play dad.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, they grow up so quickly.
Yeah, it's crazy. My younger one now is starting to kind of detach from me emotionally. I think he's leaning to mommy a lot more. He's just like, he wants to rage with me. Mm-hmm. They want to put on music and just like wrestle. They want to fight. And
wow.
Yeah, and it's great because I grew up play fighting with my brothers, right? And so he just wants to play fight. And
the three of you together in a rowl.
Yeah, my older one is just him and his friends now, right? He's a teenager, right?
Yeah.
He's almost 16. He just can't wait to get that driver's license. LA's long drives, and he's so social. He has friends everywhere. He's like, oh, can I go see this friend on Wilshire Boulevard? I was like, what are you talking? What did
they
you
can
make
Uber?
No, not yet.
No? I let my 15-year-old Uber.
No, I let him on certain times,
but
not all the time.
We were in London for half
That's
a
an
year.
expensive social life.
That's the thing for kids. When you're in London, like they're 12 and they take the subway and Uber and do everything.
So,
and here it's kind of unthinkable. Until
no, he does. He takes the bus everywhere and all that stuff. But we moved to Woodland Hills, so we're just far.
Yeah.
Everything is so far, man.
You like it there?
Not really.
No?
I like that I have a basketball court.
That's great.
Yeah, I'm a big basketball guy.
Yeah. And you probably got nature around, right? There's beautiful nature.
Yeah. I built a really beautiful studio.
Yeah. That's great.
I haven't started using it yet, but and I bought a pickleball machine.
A pickleball machine.
That's how much friends don't want to come to Woodland Hills. Like I bought a machine to shoot the ball at me because nobody wants to come over.
I'll come. We can play.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
You know what? I've always been good on my own. It's kind of a strange thing, but like I spent years like living in New York, LA, just in my own thoughts, walking around alone, hours and hours and hours a day. And I'm just fine with it.
I like alone time. I think it's really important to let creativity come out and to find out your path, what you want to do next, and formulate your next ideas.
100%. Yeah. I love walking the dogs by myself.
It's also good in a relationship if you give each other that space.
For sure.
Like you come home, you have home, relationships home.
Yeah.
But then the daytime, this is yours to explore.
Absolutely.
And to find new adventures.
Yeah, like a 10-year break, you know?
What? 10-year break? No. 10-hour break. 10-hour break.
I think my wife and I are actually pretty comfortable with that space. Yeah. Yeah. Like there's never like, well, I'm going on a hike. It's like, why aren't you coming with me? No, it's never like that. It's like, she would have already invited me.
I think that's the key to a good relationship with someone who's so obsessively creative that you just give them all the freedom and do your thing, and then mornings, evenings together, dinner together. I try to always be home for dinner, which I wasn't during my crazy years, but
of course, I'm doing that too now. I try to go. Yeah, I've like been skipping lunch.
It's the best, like the kids and with the wife and dinner together and talking about how the day was, and respecting that, which I finally try. Right.
You know what? I think like it goes to show how much she loves you. You know, she waited it out and said like, I believe in him. I believe in his talent. Yeah. And you know, and now you're good. Now you could just do a podcast at 11 o'clock.
And these are only just a few passing years where the kids actually put up with that and are there at the dining table. Eventually 100%. They won't be there anymore.
Yeah, they don't want to be there.
Yeah, and it's your loss then.
You know what it is? It's like when I was growing up personally in a Middle Eastern home, you're there.
Where did you grow up? In Canada?
In Toronto.
Toronto,
but Middle Eastern families, you're always eating together. There's no exception to it. Unless like when I started playing on sports teams, okay, he's playing on a team now, but like, no, dinner is dinner. Like, you know, you're going to sit with your father and your mother and you're going to eat. I think now we treat hunger differently, right? People eat when they're hungry now. You don't eat at a scheduled time anymore. You know, we're all like, well, if he's not hungry, you don't put food in his body. You know, it's like, well, no, that doesn't make any sense. Because if you actually ate at the right times every day, you would be hungry at that time. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like on those days where I'm saying a session and I couldn't grab a breakfast, well, now I'm eating at 1 or 2 o'clock. I just screwed up the dinner. Yeah. So, but if I could eat at that 10 and then, so it's been like, I actually like just love when sessions come and they're like, oh, I just ate. Perfect. You know? And it's just like, let's just not.
I remember Naughty Boy sessions in London. You start the session, he starts cooking. Then the session goes up to the kitchen.
That's funny.
Yeah.
And just starts writing in the kitchen?
Or not.
Or not, yeah. Just do nothing. Yeah, I'm not good at doing nothing in a session.
So, okay, this is a podcast mostly for people who want to get into music, play an instrument, write a song, know about songs that they love. Are there some do's and don'ts, some valuable lessons you've learned you would want to pass on to, let's say, to someone who wants to learn how to write songs?
Yes. The one that comes to my mind is that I remember a specific memory, and I'd written a song for Chris Brown. I had gotten a call, can you come and write the verses for this Chris Brown song? It was like a DJ record. I was like, sure. And I had the flu. And he's like, please, I need you to do this today. I was like, bro, I got the flu. This is Mike Karen calling me, right? Yeah. Big executive. And I'm like, no, bro. You know, and he's just like, yeah, don't worry. Nobody will be in the room, but you, the engineer, will wear a mask. I was like, okay, because my concern was getting other people sick. Yeah. And I remember being like, like in the booth. And you know what I said? I said, well, that's how I sound. I'm going to sound like that on the record. I might as well lean the whole vibe of it into that. Yeah. So I was just started kind of writing a verse through the lens of limitation. I was limited, then I wrote a limited catchy verse. And I was just like, oh, I could just be in whatever mood I'm in, and whatever mood I'm in, I'm going to, you know, put that mood right onto tape, you know? So it's like
be authentic, be honest to yourself. Whatever you are at the moment, this is what you
That's what you are. Yeah. Right. And some of the hard parts is whenever you're collaborating with people, right? And that's why you have to collaborate with people who are submissive to other people's ideas, because if you are the producer and the artist comes in and you're like, well, I wanted to make an up tempo, and the artist is like, my dog just died, and they want to write a song called Say Goodbye, and you're just like, well, my dog's great, no, screw you, right? So somebody has to be a mirror in the room. So you have to work with somebody who knows how to mirror and knows how to adjust to your mood. In the first stage of my career, I was very much the mood. I was the mood. People had to adjust to me. I was coming in, boo, 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 boo. Whatever I was happening. Now I've become the mirror.
Yeah.
So it's a very interesting part of my career now. So now I've...
Not just that, you're the artist, you're the producer, you're like so many things,
So
right?
a lot of things, yeah. But like when I'm not an artist and I'm just doing an artist comes to work with me, because I've kind of developed myself as a producer too and an arranger. I'm now the mirror. I've now become a mirror to them. And the growth that I've experienced through that, mirroring other people. So I would say, like, my best advice is know what you are in the room. Are you the mood or are you the mirror? And you should be able to identify that right away. You should be able to be like, got it, that's the client. There's some clients who come in and they're not a mood or a mirror. Yeah. They're actually just somebody with an opportunity. So what you need to do is put more people in the room who are moods and mirrors and be like, you know what? I should bring this writer. She's actually just went through a breakup. She's perfect for you. Get her over here, right? Yeah. You write about your feelings. She'll sing it. That's smart. Because she just wants to be a performer. She's actually in a totally happy relationship, but doesn't suit happy music. Yeah. You got to identify what you want to be. And that is a moving target, right? That is the hardest part about, I'd say, just being in the entertainment business, is that because it's so clearly like calculated now, it's like, well, here's a song called Best Friend Toby, and then Best Friend Toby immediately shows signs, and this, that, and this didn't work, that didn't work, this didn't work. And then you're like defeated. But no, because you don't know if Best Friend Toby is going to actually come out 5 years from now and then touch everybody. So, but it will only do that if you stay true, if you stay real, because you may also be forecasting or foreshadowing a character coming, right? Yeah. So it's like it's really important. It's really, really important to identify who you are in these creative rooms, even if you're just starting out.
Now, some advice or do's and don'ts for artists, because I mean, you're also a real artist, and touring, performing artist.
I would say as an artist, you more and more you have to be aware of the responsibility to your brand. I have some regrets as an artist that I wasn't more consistent in accepting my brand, and now I am much more consistent of that. And I have multiple brands, so it is tricky. I have a brand.
It's like once you identify or find a brand, then
when you find a look or a vibe, you got to stay on it.
Like you, the reggae-pop guy with the cool songs and the great band. And, yeah. And when did you depart from that?
I think it's like I never really departed from that as much as I just needed a break from that, because he was a creation of mine, right? And so I could tap in at any time I want, right? But because I am multifaceted in my personalities, I'd only like to work on stuff like, and now it's so funny because now I am him. It's so strange.
Again, like maybe you had to take a little break and come back.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it had to do with just taking a lot of losses. It just wasn't fun.
What were the losses?
Just business, songs not working. Like people not communicating. The business not running smoothly. Because when you had the number one, everybody's throwing everything at you, and then when you don't, it's like, well, we're still the best band that does this. Like, why is this so confusing?
You played me that song Roxanne, which I think is still a smash.
It's not a magic song.
It is a magic song.
Toby has told me a million times about the song Roxanne, which I wrote with Skip Marley.
So
it's a Skip Marley record.
That should be the next Root single.
Yeah. So
Magic single.
segue. I don't know if there'll be any magic music coming out for a long time.
Oh.
So I start my solo project in 2025.
Super magic.
Pretty much. Pretty much. Yeah. So I've made an awesome album, and Roxanne is on the list.
Yay.
Because it doesn't seem like Skip is taking the song.
That's the song I'm gonna buy.
Good.
And we don't buy anymore.
Yeah, you can still buy it. I'll come over here and I'll sell you a CD.
Okay.
So yeah, with the artist and kind of back to the branding side of it, I think it's like, yeah, I know it's not fun to do that, but it kind of is the only way for you to stand out is to be really clear. I look at like somebody like Billie Eilish. If you really look at what she's doing, she only departs from her character for a movie. When she went and did, the Barbie thing, she dressed differently because she was representing the Barbie movie.
Right.
So then she dressed in the doll dress and did that whole thing. But when she's in the world of Billie, she dresses like Billie. She does her funky look and the baggy pants and all that stuff, which is so distinct now.
Yeah.
And it's something that she coined. And so, I would say to artists like play dress up. I don't see artists dressing up enough in the sessions.
True.
Dress up like you're an artist,
Already in the sessions.
Already in the
there,
sessions.
Come in your full gear. And
absolutely. Or come in like the casual version of it, right? There is a casual version of, if I was right now going, say, to Jamaica to make magic music.
Yeah,
I'd have my beanies with me or whatever. Like I'd have stuff that makes me feel and land. It's show business. There are characters. And,
a friend of mine has this massive wig.
Yeah.
And he says, sometimes on a session I put that on the artist and then they sing. Actually, it was Naughty Boy, had one of these really weird wigs. And I walked in with Leona Lewis and he says, Leona, wear this. And he put this ugly big wig on her. And he says, it gets her out of herself a little more. And
100%.
It's actually quite great to have some props like that.
100%. I used to have this toy gun that goes, pew, pew, pew. And every time somebody got a good idea, I'd be like, pew, 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 like I said, I've had many conversations with artists now about the branding side of it. And you have to be aware of what you are. And you can't be like, Lady Gaga did this and now I want to do that. Well, no, that's Lady Gaga. She's already doing it.
Props. I think it's great in sessions to be like kids and not to be the grown-ups and
100%.
To just get a little wild and crazy and
100%. And I think it's a tough conversation that I have a lot with artists when I am the producer and about their brand. And I say, hey, we could do this song. You're saying that you want to do a disco song. Have you ever done disco? Do you know what that looks like? Do you know what that visually looks like? Can you dance? Can you move? Do you have friends who are dancers?
And then so often this artist is successful with this right now. Let's get inspired by that. That is such a downer.
That's not smart. It's just not logical.
It just sucks all the authenticity out of the room. Suddenly, oh my God, are we copying something? Are we trying to make a sequel to this?
Right.
Or do we create a new original?
I was in an Afrobeat session the other day, and I love Afrobeat, right? It's because I could do my R&B thing on it.
Yeah.
And I was just singing on the records, right? And they're like, you should make an Afrobeat album. This is just so easy for you.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm just writing songs, right?
There is a connection there, though, to what magic does and what Afrobeat does.
Sure. And definitely. I said to them, I could do that, but isn't everybody doing that? Or I could just put out some stuff that, is my own, right? And completely stand alone. And so it's like, not to say that I won't turn around and make a little EP or something for fun.
Yeah.
Because I think you have to have fun. If I was to make, I used to be a salsa dancer. Yeah, I would love one day to make a salsa album, But I'm not making that salsa album to make money because I've never been a salsa artist.
Yeah.
I would only be doing that to expand my brand, or that has to be done at the right time. I haven't even made my Middle Eastern album yet.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm still...
How do you sound when you sing something Middle Eastern? Can I hear some?
No, I would sing like myself, but the tracks would be Middle Eastern.
Ah,
So I wouldn't sing in Arabic.
okay.
Yeah.
Can you speak Arabic?
I can speak a little bit.
Wow.
Yeah. But not well. No,
Mm-hmm.
when you sing in Arabic, there's like 29 dialects. So it's
Which
like
country is it?
I'm Palestinian.
Palestinian.
Yeah. So you have to choose the dialect, right? And so it's like it's tricky.
Yeah.
So it's like the coolest one in the streets is like Egypt. So the Egyptian stuff is like kind of like the vibes right now in the Middle East, right? So whenever I do Middle Eastern artists like Ileana, who's now becoming this big star, I signed her when she was 16 and now she's blown up.
Yeah,
Palestinian
she's been
Chilean
with
girl.
Coldplay, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're so happy. It's crazy. And so for now she has a top song in the 100 charts with Coldplay. It's awesome, right?
Amazing.
And I found her when she was 16,
Wow.
and selling on her tours. It's amazing. So we made all the music, and with our good friend Masari and Chemist and her brother Faraz, really talented. And she's amazing, man.
So you would make that record with
Arabic writers.
musicians and writers.
Yeah.
Who are
Of
Palestinian.
course. Yeah. Because I had never made that before. Right. Now it's a little, we're all kind of like an elevated version within it because
Yeah.
we've made 3-4 EPs and, so it's like, I speak enough Arabic to like write a pop song,
Yeah.
but only a piece of the song. Of course I could do the melodies and the track.
The music's amazing. I love the whole Middle Eastern music.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
like-
But you have to,
mind-bending.
yeah, it's crazy, but you have to, remember that you're bringing it to Americans, you're bringing it to Europeans, you're bringing it to people, and Arabic is not a language people speak, right? They know Habibi, they know Yalla, they know like very few words. And so that part of it is what we're working on now, which is to start teaching the world more Arabic,
Yeah.
So then when you get to the point where you have a Despacito, people are like, and people still don't even know what Despacito
That's
means,
right, yeah.
right? But it's like easier on the ears because of how many, people speak Spanish, right?
Yeah.
And so you have to be patient when you're bringing another language.
So what else is on your bucket list?
Definitely my solo stuff. Really, really excited about that. I have an artist that I signed out of Long Beach, Mississippi. Her name is Tatiana Clark. Unbelievable. I believe she's a Southern Adele.
Wow.
This kind of talent, this type of voice. She was actually named in the top 25 influencers for music this year, which is crazy, just because she just posts like naturally. Viola Davis reposted her, like all these people.
So you help her develop as an artist and you produce, or
I do. Yeah, I do everything. Of course, I collaborate. We got to bring her by here. She's you would love it, man. The voice is like unreal. She now is just been kind of focused on the social media side of it, just building it to get the numbers and the followers.
and it takes time.
It takes
And
she's only
takes
21.
A lot of day-to-day,
yeah.
the life and the day of. Or,
yeah. And I think she's also just finding herself,
Yeah.
finding what angle she wants to take and like where she wants to play in, like what playground do you want to play in, right? I'm excited about that. And next year, my main focus is, just like to just bring more like awareness of my career and kind of from magic until now,
And like Nasri in 10 years from now?
And 10, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And Nasri in 20 years from now?
Nasri, where am I in 10 years? Not living in America.
No?
No, I don't think so. I have to keep moving. I loved living here. It's a great
Which
place.
countries do you like?
I like Brazil.
Okay. I've not been yet, but it's on my list.
My wife is German. We've talked about spending time in Germany.
Sprichst du Deutsch?
Not really. But wie
kleines
geht's dir? Was ist los? The basics.
When you're on tour in Germany, you definitely have to say a few words to the people.
I do. I go, wie geht's dir?
Yeah.
Dankeschön. Tschüss. Auf Wiedersehen.
Yeah.
But yeah, my kids speak fluently. They speak fluent German.
Amazing.
I don't know. I think next year's a travel year. I have some ideas. I have some stuff. I've written some scripts. I do want to sell my scripts. I want to sell. I've built kind of a catalog of about 100% songs, or almost 200 now, like a crazy amount of songs that are totally by myself.
Wow.
So I definitely want to place those. And
yeah, it's crazy that you can really do all these different jobs.
You know, I have to thank the pandemic for that one.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Because when the pandemic happened, I was just bored.
Mm-hmm.
And luckily I had enough money to eat and to live.
Yeah.
Thank God. And I was just picked up a guitar.
Shall we do a little guess that song game?
Sure.
All right. In as few notes as possible.
Go for it.
All right.
I see us in the park.
Oh, this is loud.
I'll just sing any song. Ba-ba-dum-bum. Da-da-dum. Is that? Ba-ba-dum-bum. I mean, it sounds like it could be.
I'll give you more if you want to.
Okay, yeah, more. I'm sorry about this game. Ba-ba-dum-bum, ba-dum-bum. I hope it's not one of mine.
No?
Probably is. Ba-ba-dum-bum, ba-dum-bum. No, I don't got it. Do I just not know this song?
Everybody knows this song.
I do not know this song. What song is this?
Billie Jean.
Billie Jean is not my love.
Do you have perfect pitch?
I
I
have
in the wrong
relative
key?
pitch. So if you didn't do it in the right key, probably I wouldn't get it.
Okay, maybe that's that.
Maybe you're thinking Billie Jean by Michel Jarson.
Okay, one more.
No, do 10. I got it. Dun, 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 dun. What is that? Is that like a theme song for Power Rangers?
No.
Dun, 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 dun. Power Rangers, my friend. Ba, ba, da, ba, da, ba. Dun, 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 dun. What song is that? Oh, Superstition.
The genius.
I think, yeah, oh my God. Like, see, like, you know what? Like, as a songwriter, I changed completely when I heard Songs in the Key of Life by Stevie Wonder.
Stevie Wonder,
and I was like,
yeah.
I think I was like 19. I was working as a video dance party DJ in Toronto. And I one day went out with this guy who's like, he shouldn't have been working with us. And he renamed himself legally Snappy Home Fry.
Wow.
Super nice guy, but he was like a bass player.
Uh-huh.
And
Can we get some French fries for Snappy Home Fry, please?
It's crazy. He was so bad at the job as well, but such a good dude. And I used to partner with him because I liked him. We'd play music. And then he said to me, you know what? You could sing. You should listen to Songs in the Key of Life by Stevie Wonder and get all those boy bands out of your head.
Yeah.
And then I listened to it and I changed forever.
Yeah.
It expanded me. And
It's like musicians' music. There's so much musicianship in these songs.
It's crazy.
Like Jamiroquai touched on it too.
Yeah, Jamiroquai.
So good.
Yeah, we need a little bit more Jamiroquai.
Okay, here's another one.
Fuck, here we go. Da, da, da. How would I know that? Ba-da-da, da-da-da-da-da-da. I'm not good at this.
Purple Rain.
You gotta give me a sound, man.
Okay.
I think I'm better at that game if you play me this.
Okay, here's another one.
There
it is, yeah.
Because I sampled that.
Okay, here's another one.
You know, I did Feel This Moment by Pitbull.
That's a big record.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't even list all the big records you've had.
I've been very lucky, man.
Yeah, you wrote with John Legend as well.
I did.
You wrote with her.
Yeah, I did.
You wrote with Usher, Halsey.
Usher. Yeah, Halsey, yeah.
Yeah, Iggy Azalea.
I never worked with Iggy.
No?
Mm-mm.
That's in your Wikipedia.
They need to dig that out.
It says Change Your Life, written by you.
Oh my God, I did do an Iggy song.
Yeah.
You know, that
You don't
was,
even
I
remember
just
them
did the
all.
hook. Yeah, that was more like my team of people. I don't credit myself on that one as much because I didn't like write with her in the room. Yeah, but that's right. That was like one of my producers at the time made the track, and I think I just came in and helped with the hook. Yeah.
Okay. I'll give you one word prompts and you tell me what comes to your mind.
Okay.
Spirituality.
Forgiveness.
You can say more than one word.
All right. I think part of like the spiritual journey is you have to dump so much out. You know, you can't open yourself up if you're holding on. You have to let go of many, many things, because sometimes I think about my life and I think, well, what would I think about this when I'm 70? Mm-hmm. Why do I care about it when I'm 40?
Yeah.
You know? And so I think a part of it is to stay light, mm-hmm. to stay like the elements of the world, you know?
Yeah.
Very important. Spirituality, especially in our business, you must have a strong spirit and have an attachment to the beyond. You cannot just come here being like, I want to be famous. They're going to eat you and spit you out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Authenticity.
Moving target, very much so. I would say authenticity is a moving target based on your personality. Mm-hmm. If your personality worries about money, it's going to be harder for you to be authentic because you're going to be like, well, that doesn't make me money. Well, but unfortunately, what you are authentically has a cap. So maybe you should be that with a job, you know, and that's a hard pill to swallow. But most countries in the world, most of their stars have full-time jobs. Only in like America, like we're people are full-time artists, you know. But authenticity is one of the hardest things to keep in our fast-paced moving world, where everyone is just saying everything all the time. And as naturally as humans, we are so impressionable. And so, you know, don't believe everything you hear.
Yeah. Drugs.
Love them. No, I've never done them.
You never did? Me neither.
No, never.
I say when I get old, I will try. Because then I've
smoked weed with the guys, but I don't even enjoy weed that much. I like it socially once in a while, but just not into drugs.
Yeah.
I have a drug. Sports.
Oh.
Yeah. I play sports a lot.
Music's a drug too.
Music's a drug.
Yeah. It's addicting. Highly addicting.
I could definitely get lost. Yeah. For sure.
Yeah. Fame?
Not important. Yeah.
All right.
Not worth it.
Then I have a few more like quick questions where you can answer with one word.
Okay.
Mountains or oceans?
Oceans.
Hiking or biking?
Biking.
Salad or steak?
Steak.
Mars or Earth?
Earth.
Mm-hmm. London or Los Angeles?
I live here, Los Angeles.
Prince or Michael Jackson?
Don't do that. Prince Jackson. I prefer Michael. Yeah.
Okay. Piano or guitar?
Guitar.
Yoga or the gym?
The gym.
And wild camping vacation with a tent or the cruise ship?
Wild camping vacation.
Nice. I second that.
Yeah. I'm not a cruise ship guy. Mm-hmm. I've said no to every cruise ship gig.
Stoplights or roundabouts?
Stoplights.
Really?
What's a roundabout?
In the UK, there's every intersection is a roundabout.
I can't stand those things.
But they keep moving.
I could not stand them. I was so
I'm always
confused.
Stuck at stoplights in LA for
Maybe
no reason at night.
I wasn't driving, so I don't know. Okay. I believe you, though. Actually, you know what? That's right, because in Germany, it's roundabouts. You're right. You do keep moving.
Yeah.
You flow
stoplights,
through.
They're just a guess of how much cars will... For the most part, we stand at stoplights here longer than we need to. And
all right.
Quite often, we don't need to stop.
I'll roll with you on roundabouts.
Okay, good. Well, that was it. I'm so happy you were here for my podcast. And I hope people learn something. If you like it, subscribe and like. And
you got it. Be yourself.
Yes.
But remember, yourself is always growing. So you don't have to be stuck on what you are now if you are not comfortable with that. You can allow yourself the space and the time to grow before presenting yourself to the world.
Wise words.
Yes.
And yet with social media,
we don't want to see it all.
Yeah.
Take it easy.
We see so much more than we saw in the Janet Jackson days.
Yeah. I don't want to know what you had for dinner. You know, we're good.
Unless it's good, then it inspires.
Unless it's ice cream, then that's a great choice.